Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me here. Monica, thank you for inviting us and taking care of us so well. It's been an honor to come here to Pardubice. I think this is my fourth or fifth time in Pardubice. I've lost count of it. I really like to be here. I was asked to give a presentation of the Industrial Doctoral School, and when we started this the initiative started 2005, we had a very local perspective on it, and as you can see now I'm putting a little bit more European perspective on it. First of all, I must tell you that I represent Umeå University. It's one of the older universities in Sweden, which means that we are close to 50 years, so it's not that old. We are one of the far northernest universities in Sweden. We are situated some 650 kilometers north of Stockholm, 1 hour flight time, very good connections. We are a full university, as you can see. This is some areas of excellence that we represent at our university, and it was established answering to the needs of doctors and dentists in the northern Sweden. So it's a lot of focus on public authority, public education, doctors, dentists, social workers, and this kind of teachers and consultants. I myself is a teacher from Umeå University, graduated in the early 80s, and worked a number of years as a teacher, and then came to the university working with vocational training and collaboration with industry. First of all, I will present our director who retired this New Year, and as some of you know him, I just want to say this is his goodbye. And this is the new director. This is a professor of chemistry into the pharmaceutical chemistry, and she is much younger, as you can see, than the former one. She is only 44 years old, and she is running a laboratory at the university called the Linusson Lab, named after her, and she is financed by the Swedish Scientific Board, or the Research Council. It will be very interesting to start working with her, as I had a first meeting last week with her, and I think we should take new steps with the Industrial Doctoral School. Okay, the Industrial Doctoral School started 2008, but the idea came out 2005, and together with Petter Gustafsson, I've been running this show since 2007, when we started to build up the program. And it's a platform for collateral doctoral education within the university regular framework of doctoral education. Financed 50-50 by the university and the external partner. And this is extremely crucial because we need the input of money, but we also need the input of ideas and issues to be dealt with, and that comes from the external partner. We are working together with companies, with organizations, public authorities, anyone who would like to pay for our services. We have a biannual intake of 10 candidates, and we start the 4th round this year. So we have just finished the application round, and we have granted 10 projects finance for the coming period. In Sweden, doctoral education is 48 months, but as every doctoral candidate is teaching 20%, that means that it will take 5 years to get the doctorate. They are funded for the whole period, which means that when they start, we know that they have money to finish their exam. And they are employed by the university. They are colleagues, they are young researchers, so they are employed by the university. And the doctoral education also focuses a lot on what's happening in the surrounding society, even though we have a very heavy focus on the academic situation and the excellence of the research. We are also very interested in the international collaboration, what happens at other universities. The doctoral candidates has to have exchange in one way or another with colleagues abroad, which means that they either go to a conference or have exchange for a month, a year, or something like that. And we have quality requirements for both the supervisors and for the doctoral candidates. You can't be a supervisor if you haven't taken a very special course at the university, which is to grant the knowledge of the supervisor to guide the candidate through this process of 4 to 5 years. And the candidate competes for the resource to be employed by the university. So there is some special admission regulations. Of course, you have to have at least the master and so on. Don't hesitate to interrupt me for questions if you have any. The Industrial Doctoral School, we have some basic principles, and that is to work together with those researchers who are interested in collaboration. And usually they used to be the most creative researcher that know that the input from industry is very, very important to take their own research further. The IDS, the Industrial Doctoral School IDS, always has a cross-disciplinary group, which means that the candidates come from different disciplines. And this means that the group discussions are very dynamic. It's interesting to have someone who's working with a qualitative method discussing with someone who is working mostly with quantitative methods. That is really interesting. The beneficial part, everyone should have most out of it. A win-win situation, that's absolutely crucial, because we can't have this 50% co-financing from the partner if we don't deliver. But it's also important that we don't deliver, what do you say, a product development. We deliver knowledge for the partner to develop their product or service wherever they want to. So we won't make a better truck, but the knowledge will make a better truck. The ideas should also be characterized by a competitive process. We should have the best researchers and the best doctoral candidates. At the moment we have a discussion with a researcher who was turned down. His application was turned down because the board didn't think that this was the best project, and he is a little bit angry at the moment. But we can't accept everyone. We need to be very, very competitive in our discussions. We give all the doctoral candidates a customized course package in order to train them to act together with the environment outside the academia. This means that we start with a course in rhetorics to present the research. You should be able, as a doctoral candidate, to talk to your grandmother what you're doing, and she should understand it. But you should also be able to talk to the professors, and they should ask more interesting questions that take your project further. So that is very crucial. We had the fortune today to meet a researcher at chemistry that told us what they were doing, and I come from the Faculty of Arts, and I understood what they were doing. I'm very happy to have this information. We also have workshops in this course package that are focusing on the candidate's project, not on the transferable skills project, but on what are they doing, how are they progressing, and what can we do to help them. This means that we also, within these workshops, visit the partners that they are working together with. So as a candidate within the IDS, you should have seen your colleague's company or partner that they are working with, which opens up the understanding for differences in research questions and in how you handle issues. So I think that is also a very good thing. And it's extremely interesting to go from one science to another and to see what they are doing. For example, we have been to Volvo cars and seen how they crash test cars. And the next time we are operating on gallbladder within the keyhole surgery, what do you call that? When you not do it in real, you do...
The haptic simulation?
Simulation, yeah. And we had a lot of people dying that day, I can say, when we were operating. But it's very interesting to see everyone learns how the other person's research are going forward. This is the process that we work with. I added this slide today. I think it's quite interesting for you to know that this is one of the, this is one of the most important parts. The collaboration between the researcher and the external partner, the mentor, because we have to build a relation that is that strong, that they really trust each other and can rely upon each other so much that the idea they are discussing is generating 50% of co-financing to the project. If the mentor or the external partner doesn't have the trust and the relation to the university, they might not be able to raise the money. But these discussions mean that the result of the project is so important both for the university and for the partner that we will do what we can to raise the money. So when the idea is set, the researcher is writing the application, the researcher do all the writing. And the application is followed by a letter of intent that is written by the external partner. We have to have something from the external party saying that we are interested in this project, we are willing to set up the financial cost of whatever is needed, and also that we think that the result of this project will take our company from A to B. This is of huge interest and importance to our company or to our organization. Okay, after that we have an evaluation by the board of the IDS, which consists of one professor from each faculty, from the university management, and 3 external, 2 from company, 1 from public authority. And they evaluate the applications and decide who should have a resource and who shouldn't. So if you get a no, then you have to go back home and think, what should I do instead? Yes, then we start the process of writing the contract, setting up the co-financing and all that stuff. And when that is clear, when every part, the university, the supervisor, the department at the university and the company has written the contract, signed the contract, then we advertise for a doctoral candidate. The doctoral candidate has to agree to the contract when he or she is employed by the university. And when the candidates sign these papers, all the IPR and everything is set. All negotiations about the IPR should be taken before the doctoral candidates enter the scene. In Sweden we have the researcher own the result of the research, usually, and that is negotiated. So we haven't had any huge problem with that, even though we have big global companies within the IDS. And well, so the doctoral school starts when we have got the candidate. The candidate is interviewed by the management of the school in order to have them know that they are working not with a supervisor only, they're working also with an external partner, and the importance of that. So when the school is starting, we have some kind of a unit of 3 persons: the supervisor, the candidate, and the external mentor or the partner, external partner. And that unity is extremely important. they have to work well together. We are interested to have input from the company. We are interested to give input to the company. We are really happy when we have publications written with all three partners involved. And quite a lot of the publications made by doctoral candidates within IDS has the external partner as a co-author. And that means that the knowledge is transferred between the university and the partner, and also that knowledge is transferred from the partner to the university. So that is very crucial. During these 48 months, they have a regular PhD training, courses, laboratory, whatever they are doing. They are having our courses that we give within the IDS. They have a workshop within the IDS, and they also have 3 months spent in the partner organization. That is spread by the supervisor and the, decided by the supervisor and the company mentor. Sometimes it has to be in the beginning, sometimes it's spread over time, and sometimes it's a finishing project so to implement the result of the thesis. So we don't have anything to say about that. But it's 3 months paid by us, by the IDS. So that is really a bonus for the external partner. It should lead to a dissertation, of course, that's extremely important. And the company should have some kind of research and development innovation result out of this. We should have publications at the university. We will never discuss the possibility not to publicate. Publications are crucial for the university. And the doctoral degree is, of course, of great interest and importance to the candidate. This is, we have round 3, 1 round is finished, 2008. The last one we'll have a dissertation this spring due to parental leave and such things. IDS 2010, they are on the last year. IDS 12 is halfway. They will come here in May for an EIDS workshop. And IDS 14 will start in September, October. So this is the new group. And you can see the number of projects. It's always 10, almost. We started out, you see, with 15 resources. And we accepted 13. The second year, we didn't have any resources at all. But we decided to try without resources. So the departments are paying 50%, the companies are paying 50%. And we accepted 7. And then we have accepted 10. And that is a part of the competitive bid. This is the strength that we see, increases employability. And I think with employability, you shouldn't just think of being hired by someone. You should read instead increases the possibility to use the knowledge that you build up during your PhD period, either as starting your own company or getting involved. It also opened up for further collaboration. The basic idea was to establish more collaboration with industry in order to deliver PhDs to industry. But we also realized that we need new researchers within academia who likes collaboration. So we need people with interest for collaboration on both sides, so to say. So open up for further collaboration, that is the main task. And what we do is we foster those collaborative researchers. It's also an incentive for interdisciplinary research. This cohort that starts in September has one project with 2 supervisors from 2 faculties and 2 departments. One is from social work and social sciences, and one is from culture and media in the arts department, arts faculty. So that will be very interesting to see. We also think that we will attract a new type of researchers that are willing to act outside academia and have a dialogue with those who should use the results of the research. And we will also act as resources to the collaborating partners, because we have things, knowledge, we have equipment that companies doesn't have, and we can help them use them. And of course, the win-win. This is the weaknesses that we have found so far. We have had 3 bankruptcies, and 2 were small spin-offs from the university, and the university took care of the doctor's wage. We took the whole blow, so to say. So the candidates are still working in the project, and they will finish and give their dissertation, so that's no problem. The third one was Saab Automobile, you know, the former car manufacturer from Sweden that doesn't exist anymore. That project was taken over by another car component manufacturer, Autoliv, who makes security belt and airbags. So, but it's always a problem. We have some kind of a break in the program, then we start over again. But that project, the third project, is still running, so that would be great. And then we have one example where the candidates say, this isn't what I thought it should be, and left after 1.5 years. Then we have a special way out for that person. We asked him to present in front of the group why he wasn't a researcher or a young researcher. And he went out of the group with, with his honor, still with his honor. So that was great. Even though it's beautiful here. When we were 5 minutes to go. Thank you. When we were working with IDS, I said to Petter Gustafsson, the former director, that I think we can scale this up on a European level. And we went to Ghent in March 2009 and made a presentation, and people were saying, what are you doing? This is great. Why haven't we thought of this before? And we said, this isn't rocket science, you can do it. And then we said, once again, we can scale it up. And we just arrived home from Ghent when EUA called us and said, would you like to join the Doc Careers 2 project? And we said, yes, please, we would. So we had a stair that looked like this. Från ax till limpa means that it's from the beginning to the end, from farm to fork in English. So we participated in 5 workshops with the EUA, and we generated the idea. We took discussions with the Ghent University and Vanguard University, and they joined us, and we started to think about how can we work together. And we set up some principles that we should work together with, and we also presented this at the final workshop in Brussels in 31st of January, and the EIDS was up and running. And since then we had a workshop in Umeå, and we will have a workshop here in Pardubice in May. And the idea is to get some kind of flourishing scientific environment where we can meet and we can exchange knowledge, experiences, and develop our young researchers. And we should try to connect that to the ideas from Horizon 2020. The principles are aimed as a platform. I mean, we don't have rules that say that we can't do. We are aiming at scientific excellence, maximum collaborative effect, optimum PhD candidate outcome, enhance the inter-university collaboration, developing the skills base needed for R&D companies, and knowledge exchange to benefit the economy and the society. And I mean, it doesn't say that we have to do this and so on. If we like this kind of idea, then we can work together. And then we have 15 principles like this. And these are the partners today. So I counted Ghent and Bangor as our co-founders because we started the discussions. Monica came in with Pardubice and Aveiro came in at the same time, a bit later, and said we are interested in joining this platform. And that's where we are today. So the future is to try to secure funding for our work. And we went to Brussels in October, and when we met with Marie Skłodowska-Curie people, they were aiming at the goal where we already are. So they said they were going back into their bosses and discuss how can we, in one way or another, help these guys to collaborate further on. And you can see we have some ideas of making this platform stronger together. And we are also starting the discussion, is there other partners that might be interesting for us? Is Europe the limit? So, I mean, who knows? So, did I make it?
No.